It's fun.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast, coming at you loud and proud, bringing strong opinions and salty humor to Ohio State football. These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and their brand of banter is guaranteed to entertain and excite you. But if you're not a Buckeye, don't bother. Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Buckeye Cast to stay up to date on all things Ohio State football. And be sure to subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? Here we are, episode 41. Welcome back. It's been a while. We drifted off to sleep for a month or two. But we woke up, and this is your 2018 recruiting class Blowout Extravaganza. Kapow! So strap in, folks. This is going to be a monster show. I got Jeff back in this bitch. I got Shawn, as always, huddled in an igloo somewhere up north. And we're going to be discussing another historic recruiting class. What do you think about that, guys?
Sounds
Shawn?
good, man. Sounds good, man. I can't wait to go over this class. Nice haul. Filled a lot of holes. Can't wait to get into it.
I love filling holes. Anyway, first of all, let's touch on these coaching changes. Quite a bit has been happening since the end of the year. As we all know, Kerry Combs is out. Vrabel plucked him at the Tennessee Titans. So Herb says that he's going to be replaced in about a week. So moving quickly, as always. Can't rest on your laurels when you're recruiting and things like that. So what do you guys think about the Kerry Combs departure? Somewhat shocking?
Oh, yeah. The Combs departure makes me want to cry, man. Loved Kerry Combs. His energy, what he's been able to do, the amount of guys he's put into the NFL and the defensive backfield, and just, I feel like he's responsible for recruiting all those guys. And, they buy into, his energy, which was just freaking awesome all the time. I mean, how many memes of Kerry Combs, bare-armed and the freezing cold, jacked up.
No shit.
I mean, he's going to be super messed, man. I hope we find an ample replacement, but it is going to be, those are some big shoes to fill as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. Jeff?
Yeah, I'm super happy for him too, but disappointed, like Shawn said. He had a nice resume he was building with the people he was putting in to the league, but you got to be happy for a dude. There's not really a lateral move when you're at Ohio State, except to like a Bama or something. But there is always that NFL job that you can't pass it up. And I'm happy for Vrabel getting a head coaching job as well. So
my only question is, do the NFL guys want the rah-rah? I almost feel like Combs is a made-for-college coach, man. Like, the NFL, those pros making all that money. They're like, hey, man, back the fuck off.
That's a good point.
I don't need that kind of hype.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that develops the relationships he has with the guys. But I think you're right, Shawn. He seems geared more for that, winter workouts, coming in the morning, getting the guys fired up, whereas the pros are like, look, this is what I do, man. This is my job. I don't need you in my face screaming at me.
Right.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if that wears thin or if he maybe changes
adapts
a little bit too, adapts to them.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows football, and Vrabel knew, from working with him, I think a couple years, Vrabel knew, this is a guy I need. I need his energy, because Vrabel was kind of that guy too,
Yeah.
When he was coaching at Ohio State,
Luke Fickell,
and even as a position coach. So I'm sure Vrabel's learned a lot as far as how to adapt too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got to rely on other coaches to put in more energy, a la Shiano and guys on defensive side of the ball. And then, of course, Alex Grinch, leading right into that, was hired as the 10th assistant. I think he had a little bit of an assist in that defensive game plan going against USC since he coached at Washington. He was D coordinator and secondary coach in 3 years at Washington State. He won the Broyles Award or I'm sorry, was a semifinalist for the Broyles Award, which is the nation's #1 assistant coach, and they haven't really assigned his responsibilities yet, but I'm sure that's forthcoming. He's from Grove City, so right down the street from campus, and he's an '02 graduate of Mount Union, so he knows big program football and quality football. Jeff, you have a take on Alex Grinch and anything you've heard or read about him?
Pretty much just listening to Urban at his press conference. Couldn't say enough good things about the guy. Said he's had his eyes on him for a while. Kind of reminded me of the same comments he made when he was introducing Tom Herman as his offensive coordinator. He's like, this guy's super smart. I've had my eyes, been watching this guy for a while. So, with Urban Meyer, the way he's got things rolling, if he says this guy's a huge get for us, then I'll take it. I'll take his word. And seems like a good fit. I think he did say also that him being a Buckeye was a big factor. Him being from the state of Ohio and knowing the area was big. It'd be interesting to see where he fits in recruiting, in what region, and that kind of place. Kind of what area he's taking over, and because I know they split up, regionally, but I mean, if you gotta take Urban's word at this point. He says, I don't know anything about the guy. I never remembered Washington State's defense being outstanding or anything, but I didn't know anything about Tom Herman either, and that worked out.
That's kind of my thing. I haven't heard much about him either. I'm with you. I'll put my faith in Herb on this one. But, yeah, when you tell me, hey, we're getting a deep coordinator from the Pac, from the Pac-10, I'm like, oh, wow. There's a huge fucking – they don't even play defense in the Pac-10.
Well, he didn't say Big 12. He didn't come from the Big 12, so we're okay.
Yeah. That would have been concerning. Yeah, we just hired Oklahoma's defensive coordinator. Oh, great.
Great, we better score 60.
Exactly. So yeah, we still have the open position to fill with Combs leaving, but Grinch will probably step in and help out with the secondary. This is not really a coaching change, but more of a relief, and that is Greg Schiano staying in Columbus. We all know about the Tennessee debacle. Not his fault.
How many times is this guy
What?
How many times is this guy going to get hired and fired?
Yeah, he's been rumored for every job under the sun, really. I think I saw him working at the gas station the other day. So yeah, we all know about the Tennessee head coaching job. He was hired, then just a fucking bunch of hillbilly social media firestorm shut that down with no good reason. I think they're morons. They ended up with a gym teacher that used to be a Bama head assistant coach. So then we all know about the rumors recently of going to New England to be their defensive coordinator. He's had multiple college and pro offers over the last 2 years. So I think keeping Schiano, even if it's just for one more year, is fucking huge, man. He was, according to 247, he was the number 2 recruiter in the country.
Right, that's what I was going to say. I said, obviously he's not slacking off, even if he's doing all these interviews and traveling to meet with teams. He hasn't lost his recruiting edge, in the relationships he's built with all those guys. Mm-hmm. He was big.
And I think the guy's got a lot of street cred. He's seen it both. He's coached on both levels. Everyone knows he's probably going back to the NFL at some point. And he's telling it's pretty easy to tell these kids, hey, man, you want developed into an NFL athlete? Go to Ohio State. It's what they do. Yeah. It's a specialty of theirs. So, come on in. Even after I'm gone, this is the type of program that you want to go to.
Right, and he was instrumental in the some of the recruiting we'll get to in just a minute. But I think that's a huge keep, whether it was by Herb selling it to him, or if it just didn't work out that he left, for another position. I think that's huge, even if it's for one more year, like I said. But Then Mean Gene Smith enlightened us into the 2-year contract extension that Herb will be signing in April. He has 3 remaining years right now, so that'll bring the grand total to 5 years remaining for Herb. Gene said that he approached Urban after the bowl game because of negative recruitment from other teams, which is not surprising. Any coach with less than 4 years on their contract is going to have that used against them. Dabo Swinney, or a coach could say, don't go to OSU. Herb won't be there for your entire 4 years, So the rumors about him, about coaches retiring in the next couple of years and the assistants and stuff like that are a bunch of crap. And their depth chart things floating around on the web, I saw that included like walk-ons and some players that don't even play those positions. It's pretty funny. I saw a depth chart that a recruiter for another school gave to a recruit, and it was hilarious. These guys' names weren't even spelled right. There's some dudes I never even heard of. Like, they were trying to map out Ohio State's O-line too deep. And it was like walk-ons and shit.
Wow.
It's pretty funny. So, yeah, I'll send that to you guys sometime. But so what do you guys think of the extension? You think he lives it out? Shawn, what do you think?
Well, I think it's, much ado about nothing. If it's just the optics, then fine. Throw that 2 years out there. I wish Herb would just say, hey, but I get it. Herb doesn't want to commit to like a 10-year deal. And Gene Smith, I heard, he's like, those, they always end bad and, on different terms than what you'd like. So 5 year, my only problem is, you should have done like a 3 or 4 year extension or something. Because now next year you're going to be in that 4-year window again, and now the same fucking conversation.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't want to be a lame duck coach sitting on a 1-year deal.
I guess they'll wait 2 years to do it like they did this time and get down to 3 or not. And, I'm sure they can make contracts, though, where it's like, all right, Herb, can you just do this for the optics of it? You can walk away whenever you want.
Right. He could right now anyway.
Yeah. They got, they have all those backdoor, the things in contracts.
The buyouts.
The buyouts and whatever. Yeah. I'm not too concerned about him leaving. I mean, there's no Urban. I've never gotten an inclination he wanted a pro job. He could have had one by now.
Yeah, he should have.
This is his last job other than a booth, man. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see. That's what I'm saying. I don't see him leaving. It's not like you're gonna. He doesn't seem like he's gotten to the point where he built Florida, or he built upon what Florida had, took what Ohio State had and built upon it. I don't see him like wanting to go rejuvenate and reconstruct a new program, just to say I can make a winner anywhere. I think he kind of likes the benefits he has at Ohio State. And there's not, like I said, there's not really too many lateral moves. Everything's pretty much down. Yeah. So as long as Ohio State doesn't get dickish, as long as Gene Smith stays, I don't think he'll never have to worry about I'm coming into the last 2 years, my deal, or the final year of my deal, where's an extension? A new athletic director that has some kind of other motives, if he comes in, you never know what what Urban could, he might not like the guy and want to go, but if Gene Smith stays, I think Urban's going to stay. I'm sure he's got in his contract too, language of keeping up with the pay increases and stuff, so he'll get raises to stay in that top 5% or top 5 or top 10 coaches in America. I think Tressel even had something set up like that, didn't he? His contract, where it's like
I mean, if Urban's not in the top 5 period paid, it's an atrocity.
He certainly he is now currently. Yes, I just think as new coaches get new deals, I think Gene Smith knows we're not going to find a better coach. We got one of the best right now of all time. So let's just keep him happy.
If I'm a recruit, I mean, I guess it would suck that Urban Meyer's not going to be there maybe my senior year, but Do you think Ohio State is not going to have that set up to bring in a pretty attractive coach that's, everyone's excited about as well?
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
And we're not going to bring some rum-dum in. We're not bringing in a Brady Hoke to run the shit.
No, but I mean, but no one, you can't expect somebody to just do what Urban's doing. I mean, he's just he's one of the best all time. So you can't just, you can get a great coach, but you're replacing an all-timer. So I think they would rather not have to replace an all-time coach. Well, and when the time comes, obviously, yeah, they're going to, eventually at some point they're going to need to find somebody, but
yeah,
I don't foresee it inside of 5-6 years.
Right. So Gene Smith made an interesting comment the other day, I thought, as well, in this short press conference, where he said that a couple assistants will pass the $1 million barrier in annual salary as well. So, Shiano has to be one, and I'm guessing Ryan Day maybe, but he's only making like $400,000 or $500,000. Same with Kevin Wilson, might be at $500,000.
Wilson's making $1 million, I'll bet you.
No, man, I got their salaries right here.
Really?
Yeah. Shiano's at $700,000. Kevin Wilson's at $650,000. And Bill Davis is at $500,000. Kerry Combs was at $500,000. Larry Johnson's at $475,000. Tony Alford's $450,000. Coach Stud is $400,000. Ryan Day's at $400,000. And Zach Smith's at $300,000. Still overpaid, in my opinion.
$300,000, but he gets a whole bunch of free equipment too.
Yeah. And a free Twitter account.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's an interesting fact, especially when you look at how Harbaugh's staff is loaded with guys making huge salaries, yet they aren't producing on the field. Obviously, Bama's been over $1 million for some of their assistants for quite a while. You guys think that helps the situation?
Have we ever had one over $1 million? Like
no.
Herman or Ash or anybody?
No.
Really?
I think Shiano's the closest because nobody's had that experience level.
Exactly. I mean, the two highest paid coaches we have are two, with head coaching experience. I think that makes sense and standard. Luke Fickell was at about $550, I think, when he left.
Yeah, I can see that.
So eventually it's going to have to be. I mean, because Shiano or Day and these guys get these other jobs to be coordinators in the NFL, or Shiano could even go back and get an NFL head coaching job. Realistically,
yeah,
it didn't end very well in Tampa, but he has a lot of connections in the league, and you don't always have to be the best coach available. You just have to know the right person. It seems that way in the NFL. So eventually, we're going to have to pay the guys to, so we don't lose coordinators to SEC schools or the NFL. If you can tell them, look, we'll bump you up to $1 million too. Well, it might be more than what you were going to get paid in the NFL.
Definitely.
Not all assistant coaches in the NFL make $1 million.
Right, you got to assume that's why Kerry Combs left. Mainly the money. He's making more than $500K.
Probably, yeah, but also too, that's an NFL opportunity, man. To coach DBs in the NFL.
Sure. So, and one more little Gene comment. He called the recent some of the coaches' salaries ridiculous, like in reference to Jimbo Fisher's new contract at Texas A&M, some monstrous 10-year deal, and then of course Bama had to renegotiate Saban's contract and crank his salary up.
That's right, baby. Saban earns every penny of it.
The arms race just keeps increasing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. Gene actually was candid about what he thought about the other coaches' salaries.
Yeah, that Jimbo Fisher deal with A&M. I mean,
A&M, too much oil money.
A&M is so ridiculous. They so want to be the in crowd, but they're at the gate looking over the fence, and they so want to be at the party.
Yeah.
They're
They're blowing the door guy. They're doing all kinds of shit trying to get in, and they can't.
Yeah, they got the fake ID that's not getting past.
Right.
So let's jump into this extravaganza, boys. 2018 recruiting class. Yeah, whoop it up. So, like Herb always says, if they're keeping score, we want to win the damn thing. We almost did. Second-ranked class in the country. You know, Georgia finished number 1 by skin of their ass. But let me throw some numbers at you. If you want to react, just jump in. So we signed 26 recruits from 14. What?
Big class.
I just started. 14 different states, including their first ever pledges from Idaho and Oklahoma. How's that grab you?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
The players, the two players they picked up, I like.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that they're from Oklahoma and Idaho, though.
Right. So we got 3 5-stars, we got 20 4-stars, and 3 3-stars, dragging down our composite score. We got 13 players in the top 100 of the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. That's all right. Our 24/7 composite average rating, which we blew the doors off last year, set the record. This year was a 94.29. Last year it was a 94.59, so damn close. Second year in a row with the number 1 average player rating. We beat Georgia's average player rating at 94.29, so beat them by just a smidge.
How many did Georgia sign?
Exact same, 26.
Yep. And USC finished, surprisingly, with a 94.23 average rating.
Really?
They made a run late. So, anyway, after all that garbage is flushed, we got the top-rated JUCO player, Antoine Jackson, and we had 2 huge signing day commitments. Like we've said before, you shouldn't be chasing a bunch of recruits on signing day unless your program doesn't have its shit together. Especially with the early signing period now in December, you should have 90% of your class locked up, I would say.
And
it seems like Ohio State did. It seemed, Urban was saying it was really crazy right at the end of the season, but we said January was a lot calmer, a lot more calm because of the early signing period. So
yeah,
it seemed like we were, at 23, 24 at the end of the signing period? The early signing period?
I think it was like 21.
21?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so that's 90% or whatever, 85%. So
we had the French connection on signing day. Nicholas Petit-Ferrer from Tampa, Florida, committed, and Javante Jean-Baptiste from up in Jersey. That was someone with a
couple of Frenchies, man.
Yeah. LSU North.
Go.
I think they're probably, imagine they're probably Haitian descent. But, a bunch of crystal balls came in late for Javante Jean-Baptiste in the last 24 hours before signing day. So that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Glad he came on board, but that Petit-Ferrer, that is huge. That was just what we needed. After we got Jackson Carman effed us and went to Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petit-Ferrer is actually higher rated. Just saying.
I know. But he wasn't. He actually climbed up the charts late his senior year.
Right. He didn't start off that way. And I think Jackson Carman actually hurt himself this year. From what I've heard and read, he got a little sloppy, his body, and he kind of checked out when his team wasn't in the playoffs. and was having a mediocre year. So to me, that those two things tell me discipline are a problem. But
just all the on field, off field, whatever.
Yeah,
tweet that
got loose fingers.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a lot of that stuff when we were struggling this year, and those recruits that were making comments. I think Herb put that shit to bed and said, we don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
That Jaden Woodby,
yeah,
who was committed forever as a junior. Jackson Carman was never really committed, but I think we would have had him. But I think them talking shit on Twitter about wanting to see our backup quarterback like they're in the loop or something.
I think I think they definitely cooled on him.
Yeah. Oh, that I think he kept. I know he kept saying early in recruitment, I don't think I want to stay in Ohio. I don't think I want to stay in Ohio. Or I want to go see around the country. So you pick Clemson, South Carolina. Yep. That's where you want to go to expand yourself.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's not really not really what he was looking for. But we'll see how. I was really nervous when Emory Jones decommitted and just left and went to Florida, and Jackson Carman and a lot of these guys that we had, Micah Parsons and Jason Owa, these guys that ended up at Penn State.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a lot of guys that were almost guaranteed ours left kind of late. I was kind of nervous about them pulling this class together. Mm-hmm. But it goes to show you that they probably saw everything coming, a mile down the road and had the stuff in the back pocket. Getting Tyler Friday, Taryn Vincent was always in, but and that Tommy, how do you pronounce Togiai? Yeah. And Antoine Jackson's huge get. He's gonna.
Yeah, we filled up with D tackles. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, that leads me right into Teron Vincent. He's our second highest rated player. 6'2", 285, went to IMG. He's from Baltimore. Obviously, his dad was Troy Vincent, or still is Troy Vincent. So somebody found the
he's still
the
with us.
Twinkies.
Yes, Joe. He is still with us.
Yeah. Somebody found the Twinkies, little Teron. So, 5-star, number 1 at his position. Number 20 nationally. You guys have a quick take on Teron Vincent, Shawn?
Well, just the fact that we've got the number 1 offensive tackle, which, by the way, I think is the first time a team outside of the SEC's got the number 1 tackle in like the last 6-7 years, and the number 1.
That sounds right.
That is right there. You want to build a recruiting class, man? He's the number 1 O tackle, number 1 D tackle.
Well, starts up front.
Man, I am so pleased with that Teron Vincent, and he was solid. He never wavered a second.
Right.
I couldn't believe we were pulling in the other D tackles late, though. We got Tagai. I'm like, okay. And we got Antoine Jackson Jr. I'm like, what? And then Friday's in the mix.
Yeah.
Between us and Michigan, I thought for sure he was going to Michigan, and he actually manned up. And that's kind of a Michigan stronghold, that Don Bosco prep. Mm-hmm. Michigan's pulling dudes out of there.
Yeah, I agree. I'll tell you, the next guy, our third highest rated guy, I'm really high on. I saw an interview with him. He's already on campus in Columbus. Tyreek Johnson, the corner out of Jacksonville, same high school as Shawn Wade. This dude, I love this guy's attitude. He is a rough sumbitch. I don't know if he's going to be able to play corner. He played safety in high school at 6'1", 190. I'd be curious to see if he stays at corner in Columbus, but I love his attitude. The dude is all business. He is not fucking around about anything, man. Jeff, you got a take on him?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've seen a few videos of his during 7-on-7 tournaments and stuff like that. He is a man-child. Whether he's got the mobility and quickness to stay with, top level receivers, remains to be seen. Plus the development of our corners from last year's class: Shawn Wade, Marcus Williamson from IMG, those guys along with Okuda. So he may move into safety, which he would I think he would adapt to being like a Troy Polamalu type safety.
Yeah.
He is the real deal. And I think we see him early. He's got he looks put together too. He doesn't look like we need a redshirt a year to get his body ready. He looks like a man ready to play now. But I think a lot we'll see is he's coming in with Seven Banks from Orlando, Marcus Hooker,
best name Malik's in the
little brother.
Class, by the way.
Yeah. So those two plus the big corner haul that we had last year. You might see we got one safety this year, but between Proctor and
I think he's coming in at safety, guys. I think that's a glaring need. I think we're going to have a couple good guys to start that position, but we're not real deep there. I think this guy cracks the 2 deep at the safety position this year.
Yeah. Have you seen that video?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Have you guys seen the video of him slamming that receiver at a camp?
Yes, that's what I was talking about. And
did you see it, Henry?
The caption.
No, I did not see that.
Shawn, you have to Google this. He's playing bump and run, right? It's like a 7-on-7 game. He's playing bump and run, and he picks a dude up and slams him to the ground. And he posted on Twitter, and his comment was, "If I wanted to play with kids, I'd get my own."
Yeah, and this receiver, the receiver was talking shit the whole day, according to the backstory, and he just picked him up like a kid and ragdolled his ass.
Well, good.
I just texted that to you. But anyway, moving down the line here, Jalen Gill, I really like this dude from Westerville South in the Columbus area, 6'1", 180, ranked number 2 at his position, 4-star. I really like this kid's moves. He's definitely has H-back written all over him. What do you guys think?
Oh, I love this kid. I think he's the heir apparent to Paris Campbell. I think about the same height, same build, crazy speed, crazy quicks, everything. Local kid, done right. Yeah. I can't wait to see him in the Scarlet.
Yeah, he's got some wheels, man.
Yes. Yeah. He's a huge get in my opinion. I think even he's underrated at 30. I don't know who the number 1 all-purpose back is, but he's going to be better than Jalen Gill.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Zamir White going to Georgia. I forget. But, next guy, Tyreek Smith, DN, 6'3", 260, already is built to step on the field and play, I think. If anybody in this class, I've got like 2, maybe 3 guys I think could walk on the field and play right now, and he's one of them. Out of Cleveland Heights. Shawn's very familiar with the Cleveland Heights area, right?
I am.
Yeah.
That's a great area. And I agree with you. I think Tyreek Smith gets in that rotation at DN. This was, to me, Tyreek essentially saved our class. We are not deep at DN right now. We've got some obviously crazy talent to start there. But this class, with all the guys that were going to be there and then weren't going to be there, Tyreek Smith at DN came in and saved it, in my opinion.
And he hit the ground running. As soon as he committed, he started recruiting for the Buckeyes. He was, I think he was instrumental in getting some of these late guys.
Yeah, very likely. I mean, Tate Martell was great last year, recruiting for the guys. That probably works just as much as a coach calling a guy on a Tuesday night. If you got a highly rated commit already there, and you're seeing him at tournament, you're seeing him at functions or whatever else around, different opening and that kind of stuff, and you got some guys saying, "Look, we got shit going on at Ohio State." Yeah. I've been down there, early enrollees are hitting. These guys say, "Look, it's great here, man. I'm loving my first month or whatever." That shit goes a long way. Yeah. But we lost some DNs this year. 3, I think 3 DNs lost, but we have 3 really good ones still, not including this freshman class. So, and I'm just thinking Chase Young, Jonathan Cooper, and Bosa.
Right. That's crazy.
So
Is
So
that any good?
that's 15 stars if anybody's keeping score.
Right.
But this Tyreek Smith could get in that rotation with those three, I
Well,
think.
I think
that's
so.
exactly. You know how Coach Johnson likes to rotate his guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be three. It's going to be three different guys, but I don't think the talent level's fallen off much.
Those guys
from
are probably all
Hubbard
average
and Holmes.
40, and this Tyreek Smith could get, a dozen a game or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Antoine Jackson, I think at D tackle, I think he comes in and plays right away. He's what is he? He comes in. He's coming in as a redshirt sophomore. How does that work? Or is he coming in as a junior?
Good question.
I couldn't remember if he went 1 year or 2 years to Auburn.
One and then one at Blinn. So
he should be coming in as a true sophomore.
I think,
right?
I'd have to look that up.
Anyways,
yeah,
we're gonna get at least one good year out of him. Possibly
yeah, I
two.
think two. Yeah, unless he jumps to the league. But yeah, high on Tyreek Smith, and he's number 4 in his position. So that tells you something. Even though he's a 4-star, this guy, back-to-back guys, I think that will see the field, and that's Jeremy Ruckert, this kid out of New York. He is built to fucking play football and make catches. 6'5.5", 238 already. You kidding me? Number 2 at his position, I'd like to see number 1, personally. Can't believe there is somebody better than him. This guy caught everything at the opening. He made these mediocre quarterbacks look real good. High on this kid, 4-star. I think he definitely gets on the field and not in special teams role.
Yeah, Marcus Ball has left, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
And we had nothing but injury problems behind him. Rashad Berry moved over to tight end. I thought Rashad Berry looked great last year when he played. But this kid reminds me of Mike Gesicki with Penn State. And I thought for sure we were going to get him 3 years ago, and he jumped to Penn State late, and I was like, oh, that's the tight end we need right there. But this guy reminds me of the exact same. Huge catch radius. At 238 now, he'll be 255 solid muscle before spring ball starts. So, yeah, I think we'll see him on the field for sure.
I don't know. I'm not as optimistic as you. I think the guy's got a huge upside, but like you said, Rashad Berry, he came over, did well. We've got those other 2 guys. Their names escape me right now, but 2 really good recruits. Hausman, I think, and what's his name?
AJ Alexander.
No, even another one in there that saw the field a little bit. I can't think. But regardless, I don't know. Coming in, I don't think the kid's there early. He's not an early enrollee. So I don't know if he can come in and play this year. Maybe late, but not early.
Luke Farrell at the tight end.
Farrell. Yeah,
he had a nasty dunk from the baseline in that dunk contest they had.
Did he?
Yeah.
Huh. Some of the depth charts I've looked at don't even have A.J. Alexander at the tight end slot.
I think maybe he left the program, didn't he? Late last season or something?
He had an injury, blew his knee out or something. And that's why he was out.
His football career?
I don't remember that, but maybe. I
didn't hear about him not being on scholarship anymore either.
If anybody has that information, please send it in. Taraja Mitchell. I like this kid. Inside linebacker, 6'2", 230. Already coming in with some pounds on him. Number 2 at his position. I like this kid out of Virginia Beach. He's another no-nonsense kind of guy. Brings the wood and loves to hit.
232. He's already man size too.
Yeah.
I mean, what's he going to get to at Ohio State? Is he going to be 6'2", 245, 250? I mean, he could be a monster.
Yeah.
My hat's off to those guys still bringing in these linebackers. Linebackers might be our deepest room. I mean, you look at the guys that are sitting in that room. It's like, jeez, it's stud after stud after stud.
Yeah, we took in 3 in this class.
Yeah, that Jean Baptiste, similar to maybe a Sam Hubbard. If he has the body for it, he's going to be a DN.
Yeah.
260. I think they're looking at him as or like that outside linebacker. Not really in the sense of the way we play our outsides, but like a pass rushing outside linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
But in our 4-3 with defense, I think they're going to try to move him to D end if he can get the pounds put on him and not lose mobility.
Yeah,
Dallas Gant, Trajan Mitchell more inside. Dallas Gant reminds me more outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe more like a Darren Lee, whereas Mitchell was more like a Raekwon.
Right.
Gant's in camp too.
Right. Yeah, he's on campus. And they also brought in. We'll come back to the linebackers, but Kayvon Pope, he's another 4-star linebacker out of Virginia as well. 6'2", 210.
I saw that he was listed as an athlete,
mm-hmm.
and he's about the exact same size as Brendan White, the athlete we got last year, 6'2", 205, 210.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like the same body type. Yeah. I don't know if they're the same players or not. I haven't seen any tape on Pope, but are they looking at him mostly for linebacker and not?
Yeah, they got him penciled in at inside, but I think him or Gant has to play that Darren Lee role. We need somebody that at that outside linebacker that can maybe cover a receiver, running back, tight end, and still rush the passer and brings the wood,
Yeah.
So I think one of those guys has to be considered for that. Tommy Togiai, really like this kid's demeanor too. Very quiet, soft-spoken, typical Polynesian kid, but smart. And at 6'3", 290, this kid does not look like he's carrying 290. I mean, he moves. Did you guys see the Under Armour All-American game? He's making plays in the backfield all day.
Was he?
Yeah. Caused a fumble. This guy is a playmaker, man, at the D-tackle position.
About time we got one of those Polynesian dudes. We've been recruiting a few of them.
I know.
And they're all studs. Yeah. It seems like the NFL's got a bunch of Polynesian and Samoan guys.
He's number 3 at his position, and they pulled him out of freaking Idaho.
I know, that's crazy.
I'll take it.
Well, remember Tufeli last year was from Salt Lake, right? Salt Lake area,
right?
And that was down. We were down to the end with him,
right?
But this kid he seems to be rated just as high. But I mean, we'll see. D-line, I'm glad they went through and restocked the shelves, because at this point, with the talent still there, and the guys they got last year, Haskell Garrett's going to see the field this year. With Jackson Friday, Togiai, Vincent, Tyreek Smith.
Just to quickly touch on the depth chart at D-tackle, you got Draymond coming back. Easily could have left for the league. B.B. Landers, those two guys will be starting. Then you got Jay-Sean Cornell and Antoine Jackson. Antoine Jackson is like game ready. He could step on the field and play. He did have a little piece of bone removed from his foot the other day, so he's in a boot for a little bit. But come fall, I think he'll be good to go.
Yeah, Herb kind of passed that off like, he's had a little bit of bone taken off. Right. Yeah, it'll be fine by spring. And
then backing them up in the third string, you got Haskell Garrett and Devon Hamilton. So we are definitely loaded there.
Yeah, and there's that Jerron Cage we brought in from last year's class.
Yeah.
And then he's just another 4-star. And then we got this Alex Williams from Pickerington. Let's add a 3-star DN, local kid from Pickerington.
He's fucking 6'7", that's all.
Yeah. We'll see if we can do something with this 3-star.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they must have seen something there. Coach Johnson must have liked this kid.
I love our lowest rated recruit, Marcus Hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like his brother.
Yeah, you're like, man, we letting this kid go.
Yeah.
His brother was a 3-star too.
Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't. They brought Malik in. I remember Urban said Malik Hooker. We don't know where to put him. He's just an athlete. We just had to have him. We'll figure out where to put him later. And then we found out, well, he's one of the best free safeties in the country.
Yeah, in the inter squad basketball game, he was lighting it up.
Right.
But
so we picked up another safety this year too.
Yeah, we got Josh Proctor out of Oklahoma.
Pair him with Isaac, and he was highly rated. I know that safeties don't get much love in the ratings too much, but
yeah.
He was probably top 5, Joe. I want to say
he's ranked seven at his position. Yeah, but
I bet he's top 5 on one of them.
Yeah, number 2 in his state. Not that Oklahoma is a vast, beaming.
To pull a kid out of Oklahoma like Josh Proctor is huge.
Yeah. And he survived
a lot of Oklahoma.
Yeah, he survived the onslaught of Oklahoma recruiting and everything for quite a long time.
Texas, I'm sure, was after him as well.
Right. So, just going down the list here by rating on 247, Matthew Jones from Curtis Samuel's old stomping grounds in Brooklyn at Erasmus Hall. He's a center, offensive center. At 6'4", 300. Seems kind of tall for a center. But number 1 at his position. Take that.
Yeah. And that's one position. We can't just keep moving our best lineman over to center every year.
Yeah, we got into a rut there, didn't we?
It's nice to just have a center. But I'll take the number 1 center in the country if that's the one we're going to get. Yeah. It's nice to get. I like building upon these relationships that Herb gets with these coaches. Where we pull kids like Curtis Samuel out of Brooklyn, and then he blows up, and we pull it. So then that's our inroad to get the next. A couple of years later, they got another 5-star kid. Well, let's fucking get him too. Mm-hmm. A lot of these high schools. I mean, and you look, most of the high schools that these kids play at are, top of the line factories. You look at Cleveland Heights, Don Bosco Prep, IMG. It's these big time Huber Heights, Wayne, Blue Smith. There's, they're all Westerville South, football factories. So, and that Jacksonville Christian, where Shawn Wade and Tyree Johnson came from, that's like the number 1 high school in Jacksonville for NFL talent. So it's nice that we don't. I'm surprised we didn't get anybody from out there in Vegas.
Aquinas?
Yeah, or Aquinas.
We're working on them. I'm sure. I'm sure we're scouting them out. They probably didn't have anybody decent this year. I didn't hear of anybody mentioned from that school for other colleges at all.
No, I was looking through some other rankings. I think they had some middle of the road guys. I was looking at Michigan State's class the other day, and I think they had a Bishop Gorman kid or two.
Jeff, going back to your comments
3-star type guys
about IMG, are you saying that they're not focusing on academics?
Well, I don't think they should be allowed to compete against regular high schools, if you want to put it that way.
Okay. You mean because they bring in kids from all over the country to play high school together?
Yeah, I don't even see how they're allowed to do what they do. I mean, I don't.
They give them room and board and don't bus them in from Ohio.
Yeah, it's a weird deal. It's a weird setup, man. They sign 10 kids or so every year get D1 scholarships. Yeah. It's mind-boggling that they don't have 5 state titles back to back.
Yeah. So
I know that's crazy. That just goes to show you that these other factories you're talking about, the Bishop Gormans and the St. Thomas Aquinas, and these programs are damn near as good as those guys are.
Yeah, even in state. Some of the programs here in state are as good as or better than IMG. Like Jeff and I were talking about the other day, IMG doesn't win the state title every year. I don't know if they have.
I didn't think they were allowed to.
It seems unfair.
Yeah, I mean they've but like they play like Shawn Wade's. I watched the game last year when Shawn Wade from Jacksonville Christian played they played IMG. It was one of the best games I've ever seen. I think there was 14 guys that played D1 football on that field.
Wow.
Between the two schools.
That's yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
Let's polish off this class real quick. Offensive side of the ball, you got Cameron Babb, another 4-star wide receiver out of St. Louis, 6'1", 189, number 13 at his position nationwide. Kid's got some hands and got some wheels. We'll see how things play out. I don't know how in the hell any receiver cracks the depth chart since everybody came back. We'll see. Somebody's going to have to do something special to jump in front of Dixon and McLaurin and all these guys.
Well, but after this year, we're losing 5 guys.
Right.
Yeah, it's be a mass.
There's going to be a mass, with everybody leaving, and somebody like, what's his name? Benjamin Victor.
Right.
Could, if he has a great year, he could potentially leave early.
Yeah.
But we got 4 guys that, Dixon will be gone, McLaurin will be gone, Paris Campbell will be gone.
Mac will be junior.
Yeah, Mac's a year behind them, so Mac will be there, and
don't forget
Victor.
about Jalen Harris, big 6'5" frame out of Cleveland.
Right, Jalen Harris from last year, Olivier Martin from last year. See how those guys, Brendan White, depending on what they do with Brendan White, I'm not sure where he's been working.
I think he's secondary mainly.
Is he?
Yeah, safety probably. But running back, one of our favorite topics to talk about. Brian Sneed from here nearby Seffner, Florida. Technically, it's just East Tampa. 5'11", 200, number 3 running back in the country. Shawn and I talked about this kid before. We love his style. He's been completely zero dark 30 on social media when it comes to recruiting. He's like, leave me the fuck alone, head down, let's go. And interested to see how he produces it in Columbus.
Yes, he's more of a banger like Carlos Hyde, right?
I think he's got it all. I think he's essentially the heir apparent to Dobbins after he goes. I think this kid can do a little bit of everything. But that being said, my black sheep in this class is the Blackman running back, Master Teague.
Yeah,
I watched some tape on the kid and saw some stuff, and I don't know, maybe I got the wrong read, but that kid looks like his head's on right, and he brings it.
I agree 100%. He runs hard. Sneed does as well. I love the direction that the running back room is going.
Oh, me too.
Tyler Friday, mentioned him earlier, the other DN that we brought in. Number 6 at his position out of Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey, 6'3", 260. Definitely has he's a D tackle, but definitely has some size to him. I don't think he's going to jump on the field immediately. Probably needs to hit the weight room and get in the program a bit, but love getting another 4-star in the D tackle world.
I couldn't believe we got him. Like I said, he was I think it was down between us and Michigan, and with all the guys that we'd got, with Vincent Togiai and Antoine Jackson, I was like, there's no way this kid's coming. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
He broke to the good guys late. I loved it.
Right. Yeah, that was a nice surprise. Offensive line, Max Ray out of Tennessee, 6'6.5", 289. Another guy that doesn't look like he's pushing 300 bills, but he carries it well. These new athletic offensive and defensive linemen are really pleasant surprise. They're not just slobs out there,
Right, just big dudes.
Yep. So great to have him in the fold. Probably won't even crack the 2 deep this year. Herb doesn't like to play freshman at O-line typically. unless you're doing something crazy or the depth chart's fucked, like a couple years ago.
Michael Jordan had to start, yeah. But he's like, and Max Ray's like the throw-in. Like, we got the best tackle in the country. Oh yeah, and we got this 4-star Max Ray from Tennessee.
Yeah,
which he could definitely develop into. We could have him in 2 years on one side and Petit Frere on the left side.
right.
But Thayer Mumford from last year's class is going to be in the mix. I heard Urban talking about him.
Definitely.
As well, but he definitely is predicting Petit Frere to see the field this year. He said we need him to be on the field this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
but I don't know. We've been getting 4- and 5-star kids for Herb's whole time at the O-line. We've been getting a ton of kids, and I don't consider Ray a throw-in. Essentially, you never know if Petit Frere's gonna work out. You never know with these kids. So
Sure.
to get 2 O tackles this quality,
mm-hmm.
you frankly, if you want to be Ohio State, you need to have that guy.
Yeah, you can't finish a class with just one.
You can't have 28th guy backing him up.
Right. Yeah, you can't have just one per class. These aren't quarterbacks. Yeah. So let's see, bumping on down here to LaChristian Smith out of Dayton, 6'6", 205, a little thin for that 6'6" frame, but number 5 at his position. They got him as an athlete right now. He's an obvious tight end scenario to me, right? I mean, with that height.
I mean, why is he going to be if we just got that kid that's a total stud? I think you throw 20 pounds on him and just make him some monster receiver.
Okay. I don't know what his 40 times like and stuff right now, but he's going to have to keep that in check as he gains weight.
No, of course. Any of these guys, and not all these kids. You just because you see a tall, slender build, say, oh, we'll just throw. Mickey will throw 50 pounds on him; he'll be fine. Not everybody's bodies can do that. Like Sam Hubbard was an exception. He 45 pounds of muscle, and he still had the his quickness with him. So hopefully these guys can do it. But if not, then we just have they're going to build depth at least. Everybody's going to get developed and improved. Whether or not they can make that change, the body type, that's always a crapshoot. But it seems like Mickey, Marati's the best in the country at getting these kids, because we see a lot of recruits come in that they can't say enough. The first person they want to thank is Coach Mick for getting them ready. So if anybody can do it, it's Marati and his staff. But
definitely, yeah. We talked about Dallas Gant, Northwest Ohio kid, loves to hit, coming out of Toledo. Toledo St. John, 6'3", 225. I think he's got some speed. I think he can play that outside linebacker position well. Number 10 at his position, not too shabby.
Go Toledo, represent.
That's right. We talked about Antoine Jackson, the huge JUCO transfer, number 1 JUCO transfer in the country, not just at his position but overall. Kayvon Pope, we touched on him, out of Virginia, 6'2", 210. Needs to throw some weight on to be sure. Racking him up. We talked about the French connection, Javante Jean-Baptiste from New Jersey, 6'5", 215. Another 4-star. Definitely needs to throw some weight on if you're coming in at 6'5", 215 and trying to play probably DN at that height. But he was a huge surprise. You guys have any sense that he was coming to Ohio State the day before signing day?
None at all. I wasn't following the kid much because he didn't seem like he was much on Ohio State's radar.
Yeah.
But I know the Cornhusker Nation is pissed.
Yeah.
They thought they are so butthurt over this. They've been going crazy, but that snake lied to him.
Right.
That snake will get his. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't know really where the kid was leaning. And if you listen to some message boards, Nebraska thought they were getting him. But
he was a heavy Nebraska lean right up until, like I said, the day before signing day. And everything started piling in the Buckeye favor.
maybe he remembered that it's Nebraska.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, that's Nebraska. Oh, that's out there. Oh, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. Next guy out of Orlando, Jones High School, guy with the best name in the class, right up against Mr. Master Teague. I like Seven Banks, 6'1", 180. Already enrolled in school. Saw a good interview with him. I like this kid's demeanor. He's nice. And the kid's a blanket. You know, he's long, got good weight. Probably needs to put on 10 pounds if he can, but more depth at that corner position always helps.
Definitely.
That was supposed to be George Costanza's kid's name. 7.
That's right.
The name.
Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, I like this kid. I think he's right there with Master Teague in name, quality, and I think upside. I think those guys are guys that, you know, our scouts take a look at and they say, hey, they might not be in that top 1 or 2 ranking, but these guys got a ton of upside. And both those guys right there, they're kind of like my Pete Werner last year. I still maintain he's going to get on the field. There's just some guys that don't really hit the recruiting rankings that hard, but they show up to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figure, looking back at last year's class, all the guys that were highly rated, or maybe you consider the second guy that we got at that position, below the 5-star. There are a bunch of them ready to see the field. Pete Werner, like you said, Baron Browning,
Mumford.
If he's there, Mumford. Our corners, Amir Reep, he played a lot of special teams last year.
Yep.
Marcus Williamson and from IMG and Shawn Wade both redshirted. But
making tackles.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of these guys finally. Our lineman from last year, 5-star, was Wade Davis.
Yeah, Wyatt Davis.
Yeah, and Josh Myers, both 5-stars. So they're going to help kind of bridge that gap. I guess we'll save for another podcast, but who's going to be our starting left tackle come spring?
Oh yeah, that's going to make for a whole show in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Prince, baby. Going from the king of turnstiles to starting left tackle.
Right, there's like 6 guys you could squeeze in there if you had to.
That's got to be a 30 for 30 right there, man.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Journey.
Right. Yeah, the journey of Isaiah. I don't want to see it. I just
sounds like
get better.
Biblical reference.
Yeah, just stay quiet and get better.
Yeah.
Don't think you're not coming to the left side until you fix the right side.
Yeah. So let's finish up here. We talked about Master T earlier. Kid runs hard, runs away from DBs. Love that out of a running back. Another kid out of Tennessee. Imagine if Tennessee actually had their shit together as a program. We would not be getting breaking in all these studs, these 4-star guys that, like Master Teague, he's number 11 at his position nationally. It's insane.
Well, Tennessee hasn't had their shit together in over a decade. So
yeah, it's just I'm thankful for it because we're reaping the benefits.
Yeah, and everybody else too. But
it's weird. We started building that international or national recruiting down in Florida, and it's like moving northward. Now it seems like we're getting a lot more kids from Georgia and now Tennessee.
Got to go where the talent is.
It's hard to go west of there and get them Mississippi and Louisiana kids. They don't ever come up.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, that's A&M, LSU, Bama.
Mm-hmm.
They stick around that area because look at the talent is so rich in West Georgia and all those Gulf states. But we get some. I'd like to be able to go down and get more though.
Get you into Louisiana, boy. Get you some of that gumbo up and down. Yeah,
I get down with that gumbo now.
Everybody loving some Coach O.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so polishing off this class, Cameron Brown, teammate of Cam Babb from St. Louis, 6'1", 175, another burner with hands, 4-star. Those guys, it's funny to get teammates like that. Maybe they came handcuffed together, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, too. And where the hell did their quarterback go? If he's got 2 receivers going to Ohio State, what'd the quarterback do? I'm just curious.
Maybe he's still there. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I'm sure he has some pretty good stats.
Yeah.
Throwing to these two. Oh, you're doubling both of them? Cool. We're gonna run the ball.
Right.
I like that we got kind of a little thing going with St. Louis area, starting with like Zeke.
Yeah.
No, I think you always try and throw something that some of these areas just to keep that dialogue open.
Yeah. You gotta spread the wealth and keep looking nationally. You can't just focus in on 5 states like it was under the Tressel regime. On that same thread, Matthew Baldwin, QB out of Austin, Texas, 6'2.5", 195, a little slender.
Lake Travis, the home of stud quarterbacks, right?
Apparently. Not sure they have a long professional quarterback history, but definitely crank out some college quarterbacks.
Yeah, and he's obviously redshirting this year. He's got some knee issue that they're haven't really been too forthcoming about, but they've kind of downplayed it at the same time. So he's obviously going to get. He thinks he'll be ready by fall practice.
Yeah.
So obviously we're not looking at him for the first 2 years here.
Does it seem like every other year we're going pro dual?
I think that might be done on purpose. I think that's consciously part of the plan. But
I don't have a problem with it.
To me, if I'm a pro quarterback, what I've seen out of Urban, would I go to Urban's college team?
Yeah.
I logically speaking, I would.
Well, I mean, we think Haskins is going to win the job this year, right? So, and
right.
he's more of a pocket passer.
Yep. Maybe that's how they sold him. Like, look, I'm making these changes to, open us up a bit because my shit's getting a little bit stale on offense at times.
I think you got to tweak the offense to who you decide who your starting quarterback is, and then you adjust the offense accordingly. Obviously, Haskins is not running 10 to 15 to 20 times a game, a la JT. That just isn't happening. It's not in his cards.
Right.
But Tate Martell's going to be like Baker Mayfield out there, running all over the place, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So you tailor the offense that direction.
At the same time, a lot of JT's limitations are what led to him having to run the ball 15, 20 times, where we can't go 3rd and 5 in the air, through the air with JT at a lot of points last year. So we had to say, JT, just fucking keep it because you're better off on your feet than throwing. Whereas Haskins, he's going to be able to throw us out of any 3rd and long or whatever, or our passing attack should be way more dangerous and prolific even.
Yeah. I agree, but we'll see.
Exactly, we will see. Let's finish off this class. Chris Olave. Snagged him out of San Diego, California. Always nice to keep that West Coast blood going. 6'1", 170. I see him as a 3-star. I thought he was a 4 though on some services. Maybe this one's more accurate. I don't know. But another burner, obviously. Like this kid's tape. Buff
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was obviously, you want to say he was the 4th of the 4 receivers we took this year?
Mm-hmm.
Add that to the 3 we got last year. Well, 2 with Grimes leaving. So, I mean, they all seem about the same size, 6'1", 170. That was about what Johnny Dixon was coming in. McLaurin was probably about 6'2", 180. So
this offense would be sick. I mean,
Yeah.
if Haskins is okay, and well, the O-line needs to gel too. You're replacing some of that.
We got 14 4-star receivers on our roster, I think.
We probably got 14 4-star linemen or better on our roster.
Yeah, I would hope.
Right. So the talent's there. It's just we got the receivers. I don't know. I don't know if it's Zach Smith coaching. Joe, I know you're not as high on his coaching prowess, but he gets the kids in.
He's a great recruiter.
So I don't know how it is we can't have like just a total lethal air attack combined with Dobbins and Weber in the backfield. So Haskins can sling it.
Things.
Right. We'll see how that pans out. We talked about Alex Williams, 6'7", 250. Can't believe he's 250. Out of Pickerington North near Columbus. A 3-star. Obviously, he's a project, but that's a project I like in Larry Johnson's hands. I think he can definitely make this kid a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably one of them local kids that, somebody's like, hey, man, this kid's got a lot of potential. Keep your eye on him. He's close, and they could keep their eye on him.
Yeah.
Like, if there's room, we'd love to take him.
It seems, and that's probably what it was, and that was probably was kind of laid out to him, but we've had nothing but luck with Pickerington kids, man. They all seem tough as shit. There's the Borans from Pickerington. The other linebacker, number 37. I can't think of I forgot his name. 2 years ago, went to the Chargers. You guys help me out here?
Oh, Josh Perry.
Perry. He's from Pickerington, I believe.
Okay. Then the last guy, Marcus Hooker from Newcastle, PA, 6', 185. They got him penciled in at corner. We'll see if he moves back to the same spot as his brother at the safety position and just plays center field. So that is your 2018 recruiting class, folks.
Big class.
In all its glory. So now, shifting gears quickly, let's bring in our SEC correspondent for a little SEC talk. We're trying to expand our horizon, and we want to bring the fans and folks in Buckeye Nation some points of view from the other parts of the country, and we'll try and get some other correspondents in the future. But this week, our correspondent is from the SEC. His name is Wilbur Rex Cooter. Wilbur, are you there?
This here is Willy Rex Cooter, a.k.a. Willy Cooter, a.k.a. WC, from Pahokee, Florida. But not in the WC, if you know what I mean.
What's up, Cooter?
I don't know what he means.
How's y'all's weather up yonder?
Mine's terrible. I'm sitting on about 8 inches of snow, Cooter.
I'm hearing it's cold enough to freeze the balls off a pool table.
Yeah.
You don't know what cold is.
It's been hotter than a jalapenos coochie down here in America's pecker.
So, Cooter, I got a question for you here. It seems like Bama does really well and wins the national championship every other year, and it seems like all the other SEC teams, since their own teams suck, they kind of like, oh, go Alabama. Where if Michigan was doing that to my Buckeyes and they were winning national championships and we suck, I can promise you I would not be rooting for Michigan. How do you explain that down there in the South?
Well, that just dills my pickle. Who doesn't love Bama? We don't care. As long as the Confederacy whoops up on some Yankees, we all good. If you can't run with the big dogs, stay under the porch.
Solid reaction. Yeah, good answer.
And on old Jimmy Harbaugh, he doesn't know whether to check his ass or scratch his watch. If I were him, I'd be nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
You think, Cooter, you think Jimmy makes it out of year 5?
That dog won't hunt.
So, Cooter there, do you see your boys down the SEC team not named Alabama won the recruiting title this year, Georgia. What do you take on that?
Coach Kirby Smart's been busier than a cat covering crap on a marble floor. Georgia signed the number 2 class of all time. Coach Smart's last 2 classes are head and shoulders above anything Mark Richt ever brought to Georgia. On signing day, Georgia flipped 4-star linebacker Otis Reese from Michigan and 5-star linebacker Quay Walker from Bama. I reckon on signing day, Coach Saban and Coach Harbaugh had their knickers in a knot. But old Kirby, he's grinning like a possum eating a sweet tater.
I can't get enough of this. So, hey, Cooter. Your name is Cooter, right?
Last name's Cooter.
Hey, Cooter, I saw that Alabama finished 8th in the recruiting rankings. Highest they've ever been. What do you think the problem is with Saban in the recruiting class this year?
Coach Saban started off like a herd of turtles, but snagged 5-star cornerback Patrick Surtain Jr. from LSU. His daddy played in the league. But you don't need to worry about Coach Saban. He's still shitting in high cotton. He gonna be all right. You want to react to that?
Yes, I would love to. Hey, Joe, I appreciate Cooter's little dimes and stuff he was sprinkling on us, but I think we might have been hacked. It sounds like Rob Riggle doing Kentucky Fried Chicken guy.
I tell you Yankees are like hemorrhoids. Pain in the butt when you come down and always a relief when you go back up.
Well, you're a nasty old cuss, aren't you there, Cooter?
I will come up there and slap you to sleep and slap you for sleeping.
Okay, I think this has devolved into a not-so-nice conversation anymore. We want to thank WC, not in the WC, Willy Cooter. Thanks for joining us, Willie, and we hope to have you back someday. From America's Pecker. Appreciate your time.
I think it was Pekka.
All right. So that's us bringing you another point of view, folks.
We class up the joint.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, folks, we appreciate you joining us this week. And don't forget to look for the TBC Extra Points during the season. Go back and check those out. Check out the archives. And Jeff, have you ever listened to our interviews? No, you have not. I'm watching you. Go back and check the Urban Meyer interview and the Jim Harbaugh interview. Very enlightening.
I will do so. Thank you.
All right, folks. As you know, follow us on all social media platforms at the Buckeye Cast. All the podcasts are also on YouTube, and you can find the shows on any platform where you get your podcasts. And hit the website. We always have the last game up there and the most recent podcasts available for streaming. So appreciate you. Talk to you next time. We'll probably do a show leading up to the spring game in April. We'll talk a little too deep action and stuff like that. So
yeah,
thanks.
We're going to get too deep.
Very nice. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Shawn.
Yes, sir.
No problem, brother.
Appreciate you. Talk to you later.
All right.
Later.
Go
See ya.
Bucks.
It's fun time.